Hey everyone, it's me again, and if this scenario looks familiar, it's because I am pre-recording this video. I am going out of town and I want to get all these video shots before I leave so that they're ready to go and I don't miss them because I'm going to be super busy out of town. And so I didn't want to like change clothes and make it look like it was like different days. I'm just going to be raw and real with you because we all live busy lives, and so I know you understand that. So yesterday we talked about trauma and the effects that it can have on you emotionally and mentally. Today, I just want to share a few things with you that I wish somebody would have told me when I was going through my miscarriage or shortly after as I was healing. First off, I want you to know your miscarriage was not your fault. That was huge for me. I remember reliving everything I did over and over and over, trying to figure out what I did wrong. You know, I was on medication before. Did I stop taking my birth control too soon and then we got pregnant too quickly? Did I not have the right vitamins? Did I not eat enough vegetables? Did I not exercise enough? All of those things ran through my head constantly. What did I do wrong? And I didn't tell you this part of my story before, but we got pregnant. It took me a while to miscarry, as I share. And then a couple of months later, we ended up getting pregnant again. And at that point, we went in for an early ultrasound and they couldn't find the baby and they told us we were going to miscarry again. And something just kept telling me, just wait. Like my body felt differently. And so I waited and I went back to the doctor the next week and I got checked again. And he was like, we had another ultrasound. We still can't see the baby. And he said, Jody, you need to have a DNC. And I refused. Like something inside me just kept saying no. And so I refused. I went home and I waited and I decided to get a second opinion. Praise the Lord. And we went and got a second opinion. A week later, we went back and there was my baby, exactly 8 weeks, 3 days, which is what she should have been. And it was such a blessing for me. But I remember that second time going back and he telling us that we're going to miscarry again. And I remember thinking, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? And so I just want you to know that it's not your fault and that you just need to take console through that and find peace that it's not your fault and allow yourself to release that guilt. And stop carrying that pressure and that stress on you that it was your fault. The next step that I wish somebody would have told me was allow yourself time to heal. There is no set time on this is the process and you're going to be healed and it's all going to be great, because there are still days 13 years later that it hits me. And so there are some days, especially when my child is due, or was due, that are still hard for me. And so, but it's easier. I want to give you that hope. Like most days are not the ones where you just feel a hole in your heart and you feel the pressure and you can't breathe and you feel lost and that concentration, all of that, it gets easier. And so most days I can rejoice and talk about our child that we're pregnant with and we lost, and our girls now know about that child. And so it does get easier. But I felt like at the beginning, because nobody really talked about it, and people were like, oh yeah, I had a miscarriage, and oh yeah, I had a miscarriage, and they just kind of blow it off. And I don't know if it's because they've gotten to that point where they're kind of where I'm at, and so it's not as heavy on you. You've accepted it, and it's easier for you to talk about. Or I don't know where they are at in their process. Maybe they were struggling more than I thought. But to me, it felt like everyone it's not a big deal. And I felt guilty about mourning. I thought, it was so early in my pregnancy. I was 8 weeks along, 10 weeks when we actually miscarried. And so I guess I just felt I shouldn't mourn this baby because I only carried it for 8 weeks and I only knew about it for 4 weeks. And that's not true. That child was your child. And so it's okay for you to mourn that child. And it's okay for you to take as long as you need to mourn. But one thing that I remember telling some of the ladies, it's okay for you to take time, but make progress moving forward. Just staying in that bad spot that you can get in during mourning is not healthy for you. And so it's okay to mourn, but you need to move through the process of mourning and continue to, get up and try your best to process through this and to take care of the things that you need to take care of here and live a life of joy and serving and whatever you desire from your life here. You need to try to continue that and find that joy and peace through the suffering that you've been through. And it is possible, trust me. And we all have losses. We've all had times of loss. And so, if you're struggling with that, reach out to one of us and we'll be there to help you walk through that process. And lastly, I didn't really struggle with this as much, but I know many women will turn to drugs and alcohol. And so I just challenge you, don't turn to those. All it is masking the pain and masking the hurt that you've gone through, and it's not really solving your problems. And most likely it's going to lead to further problems down the road. And so I just challenge you to allow your body to really process this and to work through it without the use of drug or alcohol to mask the pain that you're going through. That's where we're going to end today, and then we're going to catch up tomorrow. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to post them below.